What? That was a second gear pull, guys. That was. Whoa. So what are we in, Aaron? Tell everybody.
We are in a Panamera 4 e-hybrid.
Hybrid Porsche.
So with the e-hybrid, it's a 2.9 liter. It's V6. 457 horsepower total.
Beast.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's do a little options. What do we get with our Panamera 4 e-hybrid? It's in jet black metallic. It's got black and saddle brown interior. That brown looks really good in this car. This color brown
It does look really good. These seats are nice, man. They're comfy.
I'd say they're a little stiff. Not like super stiff, but
That's what she said.
it's got the tips are black, and then it's got deleting the model designation. It's got 21-inch sport designed wheels, also in jet black to match the outside of the car. Porsche crest and the headrest, park assist. It's got an onboard 7.2 kilowatt charger. It's got the Porsche logo in black.
I think one of the cool things too, Mike was saying that this car can charge on any type of plug.
Yeah, regular plug-in.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah. I think that's really cool.
A regular thing. But as we know from what Chris was talking about, the new Taycans are going to have their own. For the fully electric, they're going to have their own little box. That's going to go back by buttons up top. We're lit, as the kids would say.
So we're playing with it, figuring it out, guys.
So, with all the options and not looking over here at the spec sheet, what do we think cost-wise?
I think this car weighs in at 125,000 is going to be my guess.
I think somebody looked at the sheet. 126.
Oh my God. I don't even buy new cars when I'm close.
Yeah.
And I'm not cheating. Like, I didn't even...
So with the electric range, it looks like 51 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
So it's like Mike was saying, it's a helper.
Yep. And then without it, it's 23. Just on gas.
Not bad for such a heavy vehicle, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty big car.
It's kind of funny we're in e-power right now. Like, just, it's so quiet.
It is. It's unnatural, but yet it's not. Now, something I've heard, I don't know, I guess we can now see it, that driving either an electric car or fully electric or something assisted, when it's in that mode, you're more calm than you are in a petrol powered.
I've heard that as well.
Car.
I've heard that as well, where you're not getting the stressors from the engine and all that kind of stuff. It keeps you, and the ambient noise is down. And of course you're in a Porsche, so like, of course the cabin noise is going to be down anyways, but even further down because it's an E.
Yep.
So can you imagine what the Taycan and all the other full electric cars are going to be like? The Macan, they're going to just be like dead silence. Like,
exactly.
You're going to always be zenned out, right?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, well, that, and then...
You don't need to be any more zenned out, though, because you're going to be like asleep. Like...
I do get pretty chill.
Yeah. First impressions, right? Like, steering wheel feels really good. Same as the 718.
That one looks thicker than the 718. Is that true?
I think a little bit. A little bit more girthy.
Yeah, a little bit of something to grab onto. What do you think about the buttons being capacitive, like the touch buttons versus actually having a physical button in your center console?
Like touchscreen type stuff.
Yeah.
I think I would get to learn it like anything. I think, as humans, we got to be evolving anyways with all this technology that's happening.
Well, do you like the way it looks versus, you were complaining about buttons before.
Yeah, you're right. I was complaining about it. I actually like this setup a little bit better.
They just turn them off when there's nothing
I
there.
think the one bugaboo I have with it, though, like with any new cars, are look at the fingerprints on here already. Like,
yeah, it would be.
And
would be cleaning it up a lot, I guess.
It's, I guess you keep a microfiber in the car. All right, we're going into Sport Plus. The car's awake now.
Well, that's a difference.
And she's charging. Let's plug her in manual. Let's see what we got.
Ooh, that's
quick.
That already gives you some of those GT3 feels.
Yeah, she's making some noise.
I would give that. That's got plenty of pep.
Yeah, it's got a lot of shove to it. It's definitely. There's no way around saying it doesn't feel big. It's a large vehicle. Don't get me wrong, but it's almost kind of like a freight train moving.
You
down
feel
the
mass, but I feel like it feels controllable.
I agree. Like, I don't think it definitely doesn't feel slow. That's not what I mean by that. But I just felt like you can definitely feel it's not a small car.
And it doesn't feel, there's no, with being the hybrid, I really think that, they've killed any lag that you might add. It really feels linear.
We want to thank Porsche of Tampa, owned by the Reeves family, for supplying this vehicle today. This stuff doesn't happen without their support, and we love that we're partnering with them. If you're interested in a new Porsche or a used Porsche, they're definitely the dealer to go to. They supply vehicles all over the place, right? So you don't have to be local to buy from them, but definitely check them out. They're great people. Their staff there is great. Definitely talk to Chris Rogers or Mike Zimmerman, right?
Yep. And if you want this exact one, it's for sale.
Yeah. So thank you so much for supplying the vehicle. Yeah. So overall, like I said, steering feels tight, tons of shove. I like the seats. It's a comfortable place to be. One of my cool features I like about the Panamera is how it has this front quarter glass, even though it doesn't do anything.
Nice.
It's
got a better line of sight.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to have. Again, it does all the Porsche things a Porsche should do. It's quick. The refinement is there. You definitely feel the presence when you're in the seat and the cockpit of this car. You definitely know that you're in a high-end type of car.
Yeah.
You definitely don't, there's nothing to be left behind. You do not feel oh, well, this seems chintzy or that seems chintzy.
If it can be covered with leather, it's covered.
Yeah, all the touches and all the touch points in this car are very well taken care of. And it's aesthetically pleasing to be in, and it also feels really nice to be in as well. So I'd say overall, first impressions, a big W in my book.
Oh yeah.
It's got some hit to it.
Yeah.
This car is obviously a four-door. It's a Panamera, so it has the buckets in the back, right?
Which is unusual for a normal sedan. They normally don't have buckets. It's just kind of a regular back seat.
I think you can option for the bench, though.
Can you?
Yeah, I think you can.
I've never seen
I'm almost positive that you can.
I'm not saying it's
I don't think anybody ever does, but I think you can.
I probably wouldn't. It just looks cool. It's a cool factor.
It does look cool, but if you have a family and you're transporting people, and practicality, I'm just trying to play to the masses.
You're not going to put somebody in the middle anyways because of the way the console is.
But if you get the bench, it would do away with that.
I think I don't know that I would. If you need the bench,
no one cares what you would do. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't care what they would do for getting a bench seat. And it rides very, very well. Mike's on the hardest suspension setting, and it's still
it's super soft. Why? Because race car all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's been a performance hybrid car. I've driven a hybrid car in the past, when you have your airport rental or something like that. Yeah. So this is the first performance hybrid car that I've ever driven. And my thoughts behind that is, when it's done this way, I like it.
Yep.
When it's done the eco way, and it's just a hybrid just to be a hybrid, I don't like it.
And that's the way this car is marketed. And like you said, it is a performance hybrid. It's not made to get 100 miles out of the range for the.
Yeah, this isn't
yard
one of
works.
your hyper milers. It's not
No.
made to do that.
It gives you e-range, obviously, but it's made to be fill in the gaps and be efficient and.
Yeah, it's a great in-town car. Like Mike was saying, it's, you know, if you work in town and your round trip is less than 30 miles, you could run on E the whole time and never have to ever use gas if you didn't want to. And if that's what you did, you know, that's your prerogative. And they have a lot of clients there that do that, he said. And I could see the appeal to that. I mean, that's pretty
This
nice.
motor sounds good.
I'm not all the way in either. I'm in it now.
Okay. That's different. That's put me back in the seat.
Yeah, I was being gentle. Like I wanted for us to get some room. So it's got shove.
Yeah.
Plenty of shove, right?
That's just the right amount. Not too much, not too little.
And I know how people say like, oh, well, you know, with paddle shift, you don't feel engaged. I used to be of that old school thought back in the day when I hadn't driven, but I'll tell you what, maybe with other cars you feel that way, but not with a Porsche PDK.
No, not at
With a
all.
Porsche PDK, you feel very engaged in the driving
Well,
experience.
and I think the double clutch has always been the way to go for any of those type transmissions, but it's just, it's almost like liking to a manual car. When you shift, you know you're going to shift, and when you hit that paddle, it does something.
Mm-hmm.
It's instantaneous, and so then you do feel engaged in that respect.
I totally
that's
agree
why.
with you. So butt dyno, like we always talk about, like we talked about numbers, again, you can look them up on the internet. We just do it just so you can hear them. But butt dyno, car's super fast. I know that's shocking to hear from Porsche. I think that's going to be the reoccurring theme. We may end up making a decal. Car's super fast.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine the turbo version of this car.
Yeah, could you imagine the Turbo S e-hybrid, the 680 horsepower pig? Oh my God, like that car probably rips your face off. I think stat line, the car does what, 3.2, and the car weighs 5,000 pounds.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's insane to think about.
it's crazy. And this has got plenty of power. That's what I would say.
Yeah, this has plenty. Like, especially with the family and city driving and all those things. I
think this is the way to go. I think this is because you got your all-wheel drive, so you're going anywhere.
Yeah, so this is great. What you're saying, like family cars. What you're saying, like, you know, go to Colorado, go to Utah, drive it home, drive it all over the place. Like you get pretty good help with the eco side of it. So on long distance, it's going to help with mileage. You're not going to have to worry about recharging it because the car's charging itself back up, right? So all of those perks and technology and things that go in.
But if you need to recharge, you can just plug it into anything. It doesn't take a special system, but it does have a power brick if you want to get one.
Yeah, you don't have to have some specialized thing where, oh, you know, I can't stay here because I can't charge here. But yeah, I think overall, I'm thoroughly impressed with this car. You know, and being an air-cooled type of guy and that kind of stuff. Am I shocked that I'm impressed? A little. But I mean, I'm not in a way, because if I dilute it and you think about it as Porsche as a whole, you know Porsche's going to bring it. You know, it's not going to be like they're not going to let something leave their area and go out into the wild and be like, wow, you left a lot on the table. You know, it's not going to be one of those type of situations.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And that's the way they want it to be.
What? That was a second gear pull, guys. That was... Whoa.
Well, it held. It held, that's for sure.
You see what Aaron's face did? It like sink back in his head.
Every time you've gone on it, it's like a roller coaster where it's pinned you back. It's all the power.
Well, I mean, it goes back to that thing about like having all the power all the time, because you have the electric motor assisting, and it's assisting at another 130 horsepower is what it is.
Yep.
Woo! That's brutal.
I think I want almost all my cars to have some type of e-hybrid.
Right, Aaron's driving.
We're in E mode. Drive.
So like we said before, super comfortable place to be, right?
Yeah, and no, like zero vibration while the hybrid's working.
Yeah, super nice.
It's a weird feeling, I guess, but get welcomed.
So as a reminder, guys, we told you in the last video, we're going to be telling you in every videos, just because if you pick it up in the middle of it, or not seen all the videos, we want you to know that every time we get 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway, and it's going to be Porsche swag, whether it's a shirt, a hat. So how do you become eligible to win? All you got to do is subscribe below. So like I said, you know, when we hit 1,000, we'll give a giveaway. 2,000, we'll do a giveaway. You're watching the video anyway, so why not just subscribe? And we'll put that at random through our subscriber list, and we'll get you a Porsche shirt or a Porsche hat sent out, or something else that we have to give away out there. So again, that goes back to Aaron and I did the demographics on it, that we have a ton of people that watch the videos but aren't subscribed. So we're encouraging you to subscribe, and there's a couple reasons why you want to subscribe anyways, right? So anytime we come out with something new, if you're on the subscriber list, it's going to pop up in your feed, right?
Exactly.
So it's kind of a no-brainer. You get free stuff, and it's a win-win. You're getting more stuff. So if you like Porsche content, you're clearly watching this. So
yep, you just get to see it more often instead of going, oh yeah, Mike and Aaron do something.
Oh yeah, I forgot they do something on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Yeah, Monday and Thursday, Friday, guys. We do 3 videos a week, podcast on Thursdays. But remember, just subscribe. That's all you got to do to win. But a lot of space in the car. It feels very, very comfortable. So what are your first driving impressions? I told everybody what I thought, so what do you think?
I like that. I do like the steering. The steering wheel, I like this feel. It does feel a little bit thicker than the
Does it?
Than the Cayman that we drove before.
Okay.
I mean, smooth. I mean, that's a word that we keep coming back to. But with just the e-power, it has that gliding feature, I guess. Mm-hmm. Suspension-wise, I'm on no rough suspension, and it really feels just like it did in the Sport. So
yeah, it's comfortable.
To me, it feels just as comfortable.
Yeah, I could definitely see, you know, going to dinner, you know, doing all of those things. Probably want to go left. Yeah. You know, it's definitely nice. And as Aaron mentioned earlier, you do feel less stressed out in the E mode. I mean, the vehicle itself, it's so quiet. It kind of just glides along. So you're not feeling any of this. And the transmission super... You just woke the car up. Sport Plus, I can tell right away. Said enough of the E mode, huh?
Well, I just wanted to see what the hybrid mode was about. I was doing both.
But yeah, I'm a believer. I wasn't before. Like I said, I've never driven a Porsche hybrid vehicle. The only hybrids I've ever driven were the crap ones that were made just for only basically gas saving purposes, not any performance, nothing fun. And this vehicle is clearly fun. It's clearly fast. Again, like we said, butt dyno, super fast, right?
It's quick. It's unassumingly quick. And it does not feel as heavy as we know it is. Mm-hmm. By any means.
Yeah, it does a good job of disguising of what it is, which I can appreciate. Oh yeah, nice.
Like
air conditioned seats.
Oh man.
Yeah. Fahrenheit temp outside is 93 right now, so like we're definitely getting the cooled factor right now, and
well, that's something else I can't live without now.
Oh yeah, I have friends that all have like new cars that have like air conditioned seats, and it really is, unless you've ever had it, you have no idea what you're missing. It is special, especially in our region. I mean, in the southeast, absolutely necessary. I mean, when I say warm is an understatement. It's the business. It almost seems kind of, I don't know the words that I'm looking for. I'm having a loss for words of saying like a vehicle being so heavy and being able to move so quickly and not seem like it's working hard to do it. Like I don't know what I'm looking for with that.
It's very similar to Rolls Royce's that Bull. It doesn't feel as heavy, but it definitely has that.
Yeah.
Where it's moving you along. But this is actually, I'd say this is less Rolls Royce in the sense that you feel more.
Yeah, of course, from the refinement standpoint.
But it's still just a pull.
Yeah.
Where the weight, where it doesn't, they've figured out horsepower to weight where it doesn't, it's not a factor anymore.
Well, as we know, sensation, everything is torque, right? What does this thing have, like 560 something foot-pounds of torque?
I think it's 300 something.
No, the torque is ridiculous, I think. Oh yeah. Let's look at the stat sheet. To the stat sheet. Stat sheet says 516 foot-pounds of torque. So a ton.
That's why it feels like it does that.
So the throwback pound footage is there. But that's what the electric motors do, though. Like, they give you that foot-pounds of torque, you know? So, I mean, even though this is a V6, 2.9 liter, it's producing that kind of torque because of the electric assist. See, not all things electric are bad, because that really pumps a lot of power into this car.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a phenomenal way that they've approached this technology. You know, white.
What do you mean white? Like white inside of here?
White outside.
Oh, white outside. Oh yeah, that would look really good. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. How about like a forest green or something like that on the outside with this earthy tones? Like, I think that would look really good, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, they're new cars, and that's new to Aaron and I.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we don't know how to properly evaluate things. And from what this car is, it's pretty amazing. Would you expect anything less from Porsche though?
No, I wouldn't, and it's good to know that the DNA really does run in everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, the race pedigree gets filtered into a little bit of everything. Regardless, you can pick it out, right? So, you know, 918 hybrid technology is in this vehicle, and this can be your family thing. Like we talked about before, if you can't, you know, or you're a stage in your life where Porsche has figured it out where, hey, you know, you've got a couple Rugrats and a 911 might not be your car at the moment, man, this is plenty fast, right?
Oh, it is. It just shouldn't be as quick as 500 foot-pounds of torque is.
Oh yeah, it's a beast. And then you have the all-wheel drive system, so you're definitely hooking up at all times. I mean, anyways, the launch control is amazing in these things anyhow, so overall aesthetics, let's go over that. Like, so outside, what are your thoughts? Do you like the way the vehicle looks? Do you not like the way a vehicle looks? Honest things.
So, I would have to go Sport Turismo. The Panamera lineup. I just did the Panamera for me, like the way it slopes in the back, slopes down. Even though it has the hatchback that comes out, I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you and I talked about this when we were at Amelia the last time we were there. I'd like it if Porsche actually went to the Sport Turismo look, was just the standard Panamera. Like, instead of it being a Turismo or a shooting brake or a State or whatever category you want to say other than wagon.
Yeah.
But I just think that should be the standard, because I just think that's more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, I agree with you, than the actual Panamera, the way it slopes off in the back. I've never been a fan of that, but like once they came out with the Sport Turismo, I was in love, like absolutely in love.
Yeah, but I mean, like we've known, and we talked to people, that not everybody's going to buy a wagon, and it's proven in some of the dealerships.
Yeah, I think that's more of kind of an American thing though, right? Like, because all over the world they can appreciate the Estate, the wagon, the Sport Turismo, and even outside of the Porsche brand, a lot of people have always gotten to the point where they beg for the wagons, like Audi, perfect example. You know, they always want their Avant wagons, but you know, they've done the market research. Americans just don't buy them. So guess what? You don't get them because people aren't willing to put the money where their mouth is. And same thing, I think, with Porsche. If you guys don't start buying these Sport Turismos, I mean, they're not idiots. They're going to do the same thing. They're like, well, guess what? You guys don't get them. It's only for Europe now. So fortunately enough, they're still available. So go out and buy them, guys. Don't say like, oh, I love them, and you know, I'm going to wait 10 years so they can depreciate so I can afford it. I think that's the big thing. Like, everybody wants them, but they don't want to buy them, right?
They're not wanting to put the money up front.
Yeah. So you got to support the brand if you want them to continue to make those cars. And even, you know, even us saying that, you know, we got to buy those cars if that's what you want to happen. But I think between the two of them, which one would I rather have? Even if it's in the same configuration as far as the car goes, like if I got a Panamera e-hybrid Sport Turismo, I just think visually outside it would look better. Not saying that this car looks bad by any means. I'm just talking about, I'm comparing it to something within its own lineup.
Yeah. I like it. Now, would you do the Panamera without the hybrid now that you've driven it? Now, would this be now I'm looking for an option versus?
It's hard to say because you know, we haven't lived with the car,
yeah,
right? So it's hard to say what the daily, you know, capacity, what the weekly capacity, the monthly, like plugging it in, you know, the behaviors of it. I mean, to spend a day with it is one thing, but I don't know, to live with it's a whole nother story. So is it a thing that I have to have? I don't know. The real answer is I don't know. Yeah, it's fast.
That's what you did to me earlier. I just wanted to
I know.
that.
It's powerful. Very powerful. 516 foot-pounds of torque. I'd hope it feels powerful.
Imagine it with a tune. Are you able to tune?
Yeah, who knows if you're able to tune? It might screw the whole electric motor thing up. You might not want to even go into that world and start messing with it, to be honest with you. You know, if you want reliability.
It's true.
Or not void your warranty.
Yeah, either one of those two. I mean, so do you think 2.9 liters is a weird liter size?
I do think that's a really weird number, to be completely honest with you, and I'd be curious to hear the theory behind the reasoning why 2.9, right? So I wish I had more data for that, but I don't. Like, I think that's an odd number. I mean, because normally, I mean, not even necessarily round numbers.
You just want it to be a 3 liter?
Well, I mean, you just, I don't know. 2.5, you know, like the last car we reviewed was a 2.5 liter. Like,
but I wonder if it's this, and I wonder if 2.9 is the gas motor, and then there's a certain liter that they've worked out with the electric side.
Maybe.
Or it makes it 3.6.
It could be. It could be. It's hard to say. But yeah, I think it's that part of it, yeah. So we talked about suspension, we talked about steering, we've talked about power. Let's talk about just like maybe the masses or something like that. So does this vehicle kind of like a glove that kind of fits all hands, essentially, like men, women, the family? Like,
I think it does.
It's kind of one of the multi-tool player that can kind of do it all.
I think with the all-wheel drive and the hybrid, I mean, you're going green, you're going anywhere, you're fitting the family, as long as you're family of 4.
Yeah.
You're comfortable in all aspects. It looks great. It feels great at every touch point. It's just a good all around, and it's spacious too. With a hatchback, you're really getting a lot of room, even though that's not my taste. And
yeah, it's fit the hat. It fit the hat.
It fits the hat. That's all you need.
Good to go.
Multiply that by 10, you got a piece of luggage in there.
Yep.
But yeah.
But I think you're right. This can do it all, right? Like, you can go to the golf course and hang out with the guys and be just fine.
Yeah,
you got plenty.
In there for sure.
Yeah, you got plenty of power. You could take the wife out to a nice dinner and get it valeted, and it's a beautiful looking car. You could take it on a long family road trip. it checks a lot of boxes, right? Let's just be honest, it checks a lot of boxes.
And with that Sport Plus mode, it does not disappoint in sportiness.
Yeah, let's touch on that.
That's something that surprised me.
I think, like at any level, when we reviewed the GTS, when we talk about that, I think with modern cars, they get a bad rap as far as like, okay, where they're, it's kind of an empty vessel that doesn't have a soul. But I think where maybe they make up for a lot of that stuff is they're cars within cars, right? So with the Sport Plus and the E mode, this thing can have a lot of different hats under one vehicle, as opposed to back in the day, an older car, it is what it is, and that's it.
And I think that maybe, like you said, I think a lot of people maybe miss that and think, well, I've driven a bigger 5 Series BMW or something else like that, and it's just not, it doesn't feel the same. I mean, this isn't their top of the performance line, but it still feels fun. Mm-hmm. It still feels like it would perform the fun factor. I mean, you're not putting it on track, but for the daily duties of what this car would probably do, it's perfect.
So, price point, let's talk about that a little bit. Do we think it's too much? Do you think it's right at where it should be at? What do you think?
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too much. I mean, for everything you're getting outside of it being a turbo, mm-hmm. I think it's fairly priced.
I think you're getting a lot for your money. I think you're getting a lot of technology. I think you're getting a lot of speed. I think you're getting a car that is a multi-tool player.
It is very Swiss Army knife.
And I think that because of that, I think it's priced very fair, to be completely honest with you. And not because we're fanboying over Porsche. I think it really is those things. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video of Aaron and I. Be sure to make sure that you subscribe. Yep. Down below. Make sure you comment. What'd you guys think about the hybrid? Would you guys ever own one? It's a pretty awesome car.
I would.
Yeah, definitely want to thank Porsche of Tampa again so much for supplying the vehicle to us. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Absolutely.